Welcome to the Flowering Daydream Podcast. I'm Charlene, I'm your host, and today I am so excited to be joined by Brooke Brandeberry, an individual and couples therapist who offers a truly holistic approach to healing. Welcome, Brooke, to the Flowering Daydream Podcast.
Thank you.
I'm so excited you're here. You're the first episode of the 2026 season, so I thought we would kick it off with therapy because everybody needs it. I invited you on the podcast because I just think it's so important to highlight therapists who understand both the practical and the spiritual sides of healing. And so many people in the intuitive, energetic, and spiritual spaces, I think, struggle to find mental health support where they feel fully seen and respected and where they don't feel dismissed for talking about things like intuition, spirit, tarot, or energy work. So, having a therapist who can hold space for both emotional and mystical. And I really admire the way that you bridge those worlds with compassion and skill and with grounded wisdom. So I just wanted to start with if you could just share your journey from becoming a therapist to then becoming a holistic intuitive and adding sort of the witchy practices into your work. Can you tell us a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah. So, when I graduated grad school, I was offered a job at a nutrition clinic because I have a dual master's in nutrition and psychology. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so exciting. And it was a group practice. And all we did was nutrition. So it was a lot of like, eat this, don't eat that. It was a lot of like stool samples, saliva samples. It was very scientific, which I love learning, but I apparently didn't love teaching. And I got really bored really fast. And I realized like we are way more complex than the foods we eat. So, somewhat surprising to me, I was pretty unhappy. And so I left and I opened my own private practice where I kind of got to start to blend the food and the psychology part, which was much more fulfilling for me. And that's when I started really focusing in on binge eating disorder. Um, and then that got boring. And so I just kind of kept like this metamorphosis going of like, not quite it. I felt like Goldilocks. I was like, it's not quite it. It's not quite it, right? And then I had, which it sounds probably silly to most people because it's like, of course you could do this. But in the therapy world, we are trained and we are almost like shamed
Mm.
into staying clinical. And like you follow a treatment plan and you give coping skills. And it's just very textbook-y.
Hmm.
And I didn't like being that person either. So I just kind of had this moment of like, oh my God, I could do more. And we'll circle into brain spotting, but I actually had the revelation while doing a brain spotting session. And it was like clear as day of like, you need to integrate the two, not just
Mm.
for yourself, but for your clients. Because for my own healing, like I couldn't separate the two. So why would I want to do that to anybody else?
Yeah,
And
more
then that
integrative.
also meant it's more, yeah. And it's like you're really, I mean, if I say I'm going to have a holistic approach, I need to actually like walk the talk. And before holistic was food and body.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, so like we're missing spirit, you know? So I started to just kind of combine and play around and create different offerings. And to no surprise, uh, working with the clients that want all of that is like, I didn't even work that day,
Mm.
you know? So
Wow.
that's
Yeah.
my journey.
So like you knew inside something was calling you, so you just kept
Hmm.
following the path until you got
Hmm.
through the breadcrumbs, Hansel and Gretel.
Hmm. Hmm.
I love
Yep.
that the storybooks are coming up for us.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And did you have like a personal practice, pretty strong when that search started, or did that sort of develop, for yourself in terms of sort of the spiritual aspects of how you integrated that into your work? Was that already sort of happening, or did that just expand as you searched for the job portion of it?
Yeah. I would say my spiritual practice was the most strong actually a few years back,
Mhm.
like very heavily. Like it was like I was a single parent to a 2-year-old. I had my business and I had my spiritual practice, and like that was it. That was my entire life.
Mm.
Um, so when this kind of like aha moment happened, I was, I'm in my little she shed right now. Like that's my altar. That's where I meditate.
I love it.
Um, but I also have like a toddler right now, and she's a lot. And so now there's the 2 kids. And so no, I wasn't as connected to it, and I missed it.
Mm.
I felt like that, like it was this like tug of like,
Yeah.
that's a part of you. You need to be feeding that and nourishing that and nurturing that. And when I have more of that, then I feel like I attract more of that energy into my life too. I just like these alignments, right?
Yeah.
Um, so shamefully, I will admit I wasn't in my peak. Um,
That's
but
okay. We all go through
it's what
phases.
called, yeah, right? Life, right? It's like, how
Yeah.
do you say like spiritual practice and like,
Yeah. Yeah.
balance 85 things? So it definitely was like a calling back.
Nice. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. I love that. So, is it, I didn't put this on the questionnaire, but I'm kind of thinking this as we're
Mhm.
talking, but like when people
Uh-oh.
go to find you, to like find a therapist, is it obvious that you're like a therapist based on your website or how you accrue clients, that you are a safe space for, this part of themselves to show up in therapy?
I If you read through my pages, there's like these little snippets
Hmm.
of like, if this calls to you, if this is
Mm,
something, because I don't want people to feel like it's a prerequisite.
right. Because it
Like,
could come
oh,
even if
she,
that wasn't it.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I just try to like meet the clients where they're at, but I do have little like almost like little doors that are open throughout the whole website. But at the footer of every page on my website, it says, "Hey, are you looking for healing, but with more spirituality and magic?" And
Mm,
then they can click the other website, the ebb and flow elements. And
right.
that is fully like, welcome to Witchland, and like, let's do therapy, but in a coaching style so we can do more things.
Let's
So,
let's talk about
yeah.
that. That was on the questionnaire too that I sent you. I like to go over what we're going to talk about a little bit so we have like kind of an idea before we get started. But so you have two separate practices,
Mhm.
and is that because of like the way therapy is mandated that you have to separate them
Mhm.
out? Okay. Can you tell us about what the differences
Yeah.
are?
So it's really common for a therapist to also have a coaching practice. Um, Maybe I shouldn't say common. It's not uncommon.
Okay.
And there's always this kind of like ethical struggle of, well, can I just use the same LLC? And people are very opinionated on this topic. Um, I kind of went down the middle of it's safer to separate them
Mm,
because you want your clients to know where they are in
hmm.
terms of the ethics around it and HIPAA and does this apply and does it not? Um, and so to go through my main therapy practice and also offer coaching, it would be like, okay, here's red tape for you because of, laws around licensure, but like you don't have the red tape, so this looks different for you. Um, so I just split them. And
Yeah.
also for coaching, I can work with people in other states.
Well, and also
So,
can they go between the two? Like, oh, I want to have like clinical therapy and then I want to do some spiritually integrative work. Like, could
mhm.
they can do
Yeah,
both? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like the therapy intensives I do, we combine. There's like one modality in therapy that I cannot bring over into
Right.
the spiritual coaching. That's just like you have to be licensed in order to use it. So there's just one thing that I use in one area that I don't carry over.
You can't carry over.
Yeah.
So I didn't ask you this either. Sorry. It's just coming up as we talk, but and I think this is obvious, but I'm not sure. Can tarot be in clinical therapy or no? Technically. Okay, okay, okay.
Yes. I mean, I do.
Y-
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I do. And it's just how you chart it.
Right, right.
It's
Yeah.
just,
Okay.
what wording do you use,
Yeah.
to make
Okay.
it sound clinically significant.
Yeah, got it. I feel like there's so
Yeah.
much of that in the way our therapy and medical systems work. Like, I feel like
Hmm.
every practitioner I've ever talked to, everyone has some kind of understanding of like how they have to word things, which is so ridiculous. It's like, why can't we just like help the person as they are? But I get it,
Yeah.
you know, it's got to have the structure. Anyway, well, that's
Yeah.
thank you for
And
answering
when
that.
you're taking insurance, like you really have to be more careful, but I'm depaneled, so I have a lot more freedom now. Because
Oh,
I'm not really like held liable because insurance companies will be like, you have to use evidence-based practices. Tarot is not evidence-based practice because why would someone research it? There's not money to be made,
right,
right?
right. Yeah.
Um,
Well, and
so
also if
without,
they're more interested in that, they would just come to your coaching site anyway. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well,
yeah.
that's helpful. I'm just kind of trying to help the listeners figure out like what would I
Hmm.
book or how would I book it if I want both, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, do you think that there is a place for ritual or spiritual practices within traditional mental health work? Like, do you feel like at some point that that will be there, or what's the industry vibe?
This is kind of the way I look at it. People will say, I want a Christian counselor, and that's acceptable. And in that counseling, you might read from the Bible, you might pray together, right?
Like
Um,
clinical counseling?
yeah, like
Okay.
they'll say, like, I want a Christian counselor,
Right.
and it's like it's allowed.
Oh, okay.
Um, Surprise.
Hmm.
But for other, other belief systems,
Hmm.
it doesn't transfer as well without some like pushback,
Hmm.
if that
Interesting.
makes sense. So, like, I absolutely think there's space for ritual. I have done some really powerful intensives with clients through my therapy practice where it was like, oh my God, it was like energy fields everywhere and totally and like intense and crazy and amazing and transformative. And um, I don't think that that client could have healed
Hmm.
in the way that she needed to had we not incorporated ritual.
Yeah.
Um, so I think there's absolutely space, and I see more people kind of pushing,
Mm-hmm.
to say
Yeah.
like if you're like you're limiting our ability to heal,
Yeah.
and our number one purpose is to bring healing for people to help them find healing,
Mm.
right? So I think there's space, absolutely, but you're always going to find the people who want to do it by the book from
Yeah.
beginning to end, and they're not my people.
Yeah. That's okay. There's
Yeah,
someone for everyone.
exactly. They have each other, and I have my people.
Well, I kind of wish that was being applied to our Western medical system too, where it's like,
Yeah.
you know, you go to a primary care physician and they can only answer one question. It's not about the whole picture. They only have 20 minutes per insurance capita, whatever. It's like, what if we looked at the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the energetic or spiritual and thought of them as a whole human?
Yeah. Nope. In Western medicine, we broke it all up. We're
Yeah.
like, you do the brain, you do the bones,
Yeah.
you do the nervous system, you do
And then they
whatever.
never
We
really
we we
talk to
split it
each
all, and
other.
then they don't talk. Nope.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
What?
you're getting different perspectives on the same thing, and no one's talking to each other about what may be the root cause.
I'm so surprised that nobody else in the higher ups is getting it. Anyway, well, we know what needs to be done. So that's
Yes.
why I think it's important that if you can afford it and you have the means to do it, having the right support system, whether it's like the witchy therapist plus the coaching plus the doctor plus the
Yeah.
naturopath plus, you know, trying to have like this circle of trying to be integrative and do it in an integrative way.
Hmm. Hmm.
But also that gets exhausting because then you have all these appointments instead of
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
talking to
And
one
you're like,
person.
I'm just trying to be healthy. Like,
So if you're somebody who does all of it, please let me know and I'll bring
yeah.
you on the podcast.
Okay.
We'd love to know. Well, tell us about the brain spotting. What is
Yeah.
it and how does it work? And tell us
So
everything.
I have my thing, my
Okay.
little
What is that?
so brain spotting it came from EMDR. which I think more people are familiar with. It's the eye movement desensitization and reprocessing.
Okay.
And it's a brain-based way for people to heal trauma
Hmm.
because the analogy I use, and I don't know why it's pancakes, but it just is. Um, if you're wanting to heal from trauma and we're talking about it, we're using our prefrontal cortex,
Okay.
communicate, right? Here's my reason. Here's my logic. Oh, you just came up with another question. I'm going to answer based on the words that I know, right? It's very uh,
Cognitive.
neocortical, cognitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and trauma doesn't live here. It lives in what's called the midbrain, which is behind.
Hmm.
So, like my little hand model.
Yes.
So like this pretty little hand model of the brain. So this is like the brain stem, right?
Okay.
Like
She's
this all the way
pointing to
down.
her like her wrist, guys, if you
Yeah.
can't see.
Yeah. So this is the brain stem. It controls breathing, heart rate. Like, thank God we have a brain stem because if we didn't, we'd be like, inhale, exhale, inhale, right? And then
Okay.
we would die, right? So the brain stem does all of these things that we aren't even aware of. And then our brain looks like this.
Now she's holding
And
her hands into like a fist.
yes, I have a fist with my thumb tucked.
Okay.
So my knuckles that
Mhm.
are like the front of the fist represent the front of the brain.
Okay.
So we're in like the cortex, neocortex, prefrontal lobe.
Okay.
And then when you lift that, so now my fingers are up in the air and you can see my little thumb tucked in. This is the midbrain.
Oh,
So it's the
right.
in between. It's the here's the brain stem that developed first. And then we had the midbrain develop with evolution. And then we had this fancy little thing that makes us humans and not like dogs.
Okay.
So trauma is in the midbrain where my thumb is.
Hmm.
So if we're going to really heal trauma, we can't talk about it.
Hmm.
It doesn't work. It actually ends up re-traumatizing people. So I think of it as like you're in a house and we really want to make pancakes, i.e., process your trauma. And we're up in the bedroom chatting about pancakes. And we started to get frustrated because we're like, but where are the pancakes? We're not making any pancakes. Right. And then the client can feel like they're a failure because their symptoms aren't going away. Their nightmares are worse, whatever the trauma comes with. You have to go to the kitchen, i.e., the midbrain, to
Hmm.
make the pancakes to process the trauma.
Okay.
So brain spotting accesses the midbrain in a similar way that EMDR does. The reason I prefer brain spotting over EMDR is it's intuitively led by the client.
Hmm.
So, for anybody out there who's done EMDR, there's a protocol. I ask a question, you answer. I tell you this, you do this. It's very much like you just go down a list.
Like to get to the
And
kitchen.
yes. And maybe a big thing people start with is like worst thing first thing. So like you have to have a memory. What's the worst memory you've ever had? And what's the first thing you remember? And people are like, I don't want to talk about the worst thing. Like I'm
Hmm.
not ready yet.
Hmm.
Um, and it's really limiting because you have to remember stuff,
Right.
right? And a lot of the things that really affect our psyche, our self-worth, our beliefs about ourselves, all of that happened before we remember.
Hmm.
So I just found it very limiting. And it's also assuming that like therapist knows better.
Yeah.
And brain spotting is very much like client knows better.
Oh. So you
So
just ask
you're,
what leading questions to get them in there, and then once they're in
yeah,
there, then what?
I just kind of back up. So the idea is like you're the comet flying through
Okay.
the sky.
Mm-hmm.
So that's you, and you're carrying whatever issue is that you choose that day. And again, I don't know what the issue is. I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, clinically speaking, I think that we should really work on the relationship with your mom.
Right.
It could be like, I feel so much fear around trying new things.
Hmm.
And maybe clinically that was lower on my list of like, importance,
Yeah.
but for the client, it's not. It's at the top of their list.
Right.
Right? So they choose the comet, and I just do my best to stay in the tail. So
Hmm.
I'm just trying to follow you.
So
So
almost like somatic in a sense.
it's somatic too. Yeah. So we
Yeah.
bring in the body. So it's a bottom up approach is what they call it. So,
Oh.
where you come in with a question or something you want to work through. I ask questions to get you more into the midbrain
Mm,
and out of your frontal lobe. I don't want you judging or analyzing. I want you feeling.
mm,
And then in that work, we also check in with like, where do you notice it in the body? And, people tend to say, like, my chest is really tight or I have pressure in my head. We find wherever that thing is living in the body. And then I use my little fancy pointer that can get bigger. Um, and we find what's called the brain spot. So once you're in a place where you're like activated is the word we use, where you're like, I'm feeling it, like I'm in this emotion, my body is in this emotion. There's different techniques that, I could geek out about, but essentially I find the spot that when you're looking there, you're like, I'm gonna throw up.
mm.
Okay, that's a really intense response. Or all of a sudden, boom, here's a flash memory. Oh my God. Some people don't even notice that they're having a reaction, but I see their reaction.
Okay.
And so I might be moving it and they go, and I'm
Mm,
like, oh, there's something there. But like they had no awareness of it. So we
right.
just find the spot
So it can be
and
subtle or it can be kind of extreme
mm-hmm,
experience.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
what makes it different from talk therapy is you're getting out of that prefrontal
Mm-hmm,
area. Okay.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then can it help, can brain spotting help someone access like their spiritual or mystical sides, or
Yes.
is that
Yes.
okay? Okay.
Yeah. So that's also why, so you don't have to take the training to be certified in it, but I wanted to. So it's called expansion, which is when you bring in like soul spotting, which is let's connect to your soul. Let's
Oh,
connect to your
what?
higher power spot. Let's connect to a lost loved one. I've in an intensive had a client's deceased father show up.
And this is so when you go there, you're out, you got to go over to the coaching side, right?
No, no, you can still use it. Brain spotting is still considered. Yeah.
Oh, we found a
Hmm.
loophole.
Yeah, I
Is
guess
this
that is a
okay?
loophole.
Are we
Yeah,
allowed
yeah,
to
yeah.
air this?
Yes, yes. Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's one of the three ways to use it. I had actually never considered that. Like, oh God. But like, yeah,
That-
I guess it's kind of a loophole.
yeah, it is.
Um, so you can, yeah, we can definitely get with the woo, for people who want that with expansion. And I think of it as like two sides of a coin for trauma healing. One side is the activation, which is like, ouch, this hurts.
Okay.
Like I'm having this memory, I'm crying a lot, my body's releasing stuff.
Mm,
Oh my God, there's a memory I didn't even know I had. Now I'm linking the two. That's like the ouch part of healing trauma, which we need to do. But then the other side of it is the empowerment part. It's the connecting to like your highest, most possible potential as a soul and as a spirit.
mm.
And from my own personal perspective and, clinical practice, the people that can do both sides of the coin do the deepest healing.
Yeah. Because it's that layered integrative approach of
Mm-hmm.
considering all of who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Like
And part of, yeah.
even if you don't believe in anything, you still have like if quantum physics, you everything's made of energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's energy there.
Yep. And people will feel it. Like people who won't even name it, like a big part of brain spotting is called attunement. So just a great example of it is like, if you're looking here, I'm watching you the whole time,
Mm.
watching it, and people are like, oh God, it's weird. And I'm like, no, you know what would be weird is if you were doing this and I was like, that would be weird,
Looking at your
right?
phone.
Like, yeah, you just do that process. Hang on, I'm just gonna respond to some emails, right? Like that would be weird.
Yeah, yeah.
So the attunement part is like I am locked in with your energy.
Yeah. Well, it's
And
intimate. I
people
think
feel
people get
that.
afraid of intimacy. Like that's very
Yeah.
intimate to have someone locking in on you, you know. But
Hmm.
you create a safe space and you know you're signing up for it and you can back out at any time and all of those
Hmm.
things. But I think it's really therapy can be that kind of therapy can be really intimate.
Hmm. Which is also like that in and of itself is healing because it's like, hey, it's okay to be
Right.
seen
Yeah, and have somebody hold
when you're,
that space for you.
yeah, and be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like you can have all the flashbacks you want. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'll stay here with you and I'm not going to get
Your job.
overwhelmed by you, right? It's like
Yeah.
if a toddler's like throwing a tantrum, you're like, I have to stay.
Yeah. Co-regulate.
Right?
Yeah.
I have to, yeah, exactly. It's a lot of
Yeah.
co-regulation of like, you do whatever you need to scream into the pillow. I'm not going to be bothered. Go for
Yeah.
it. If that's
Oh,
what you need, I'm here. I'm here
that
with you.
feels, I can feel that container. It feels nice.
It is nice. It is. It's like we create our own little like force field.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. Aw, that sounds amazing. That's so cool. So, and so you promote that or you have that on your website for your clinical
Hmm.
therapy as well. And then
Yes.
do
Yes.
you bring that up to the client when you're in sessions or do they ask you about it or like how does one book it?
I now incorporate it in my intake calls or in my, like inquiry calls because I'm kind of at the point where like I don't know how to do my best work without it.
Okay. So it's just
Like,
such a helpful anchor in your tools.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That like if someone comes in and or someone reaches out and they're like, I just really want someone to talk to. I'm like,
not me.
that's not, there are so many therapists out there that will actively listen and validate. And that's not my approach. I want you to actually grow
Yeah,
and
transform
heal
when you're
and
ready.
transform. Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah,
like,
call me when you're
so
ready.
yeah. Yeah. When you want to do the thing, let me know. And if you don't want to do the thing, that's, that's totally your choice too. So I do lead with it now because I can't leave it out.
Yeah, so important. Well, and I
It'd
think
be,
that's good to let people know like the
mhm.
different stages they can do. If they want to start by talking, that's fine. But I never found that to be very helpful anyway. It just feels like you're just regurgitating words.
Yeah. People tell you what happens is like they feel better right after session,
Yeah.
right? Someone listened to me. Our culture has a listening problem.
Yeah, that for
So
sure.
it's,
Yeah.
oh my God. Like, so people are like, oh my God, she listened the entire time. I feel so great. I feel so seen. I feel so, but nothing changes,
Right. So you can
right?
get a
So
benefit from that, just not transformation.
exactly. You can be
Yeah.
like, that was really great. But also like, let's work on like finding people in your life who can support you in that way.
Yeah.
Um, and then we can do work on, because people will come in with goals, but they also just want to talk about their week.
Yeah. Well, and
So I,
sometimes for some people, like they don't have anyone to talk to, and that works, but that's just not your therapy style. So just so
mm-mm,
people are
no,
clear.
yep. I'm direct and I'll tell people, hey, you came in for this and we haven't talked about it at all. And it's been 2 months. So what are we doing?
I've had a therapist
So
like that where I'm like, I just like you. Let's just talk. I'm paying you to be my friend, basically.
yeah. Yes.
Sometimes you just click, but then they can't
Hmm.
legally talk to you. What is it, 2 years after
Too, yeah.
you end your therapy or something?
Yeah. So it does, you start to feel as like imbalance because like you want something where they're like, well, tell me about you. And you're like,
I can't.
I'll self-disclose, but
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there's a
yeah.
line at which like now we're just talking,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Let's not call it therapy now. Let's
Yeah.
just go get a coffee.
Yeah.
2 years from
Exactly.
now.
I'll see you in 2 years. Go find a new therapist.
Yeah, just so
Yeah.
everyone knows the rules, okay. All right. Well, anything else about that brain spotting that you want to mention before we head to my next?
It's the coolest thing ever, and everybody has to try it because it's like you don't even know like what you're capable of. Like the amount of times people are like, oh my God, that's it. And I'm like, yeah,
Like
but
the
you couldn't get
epiphanies.
there. Yes,
Yeah,
there's so many epiphanies.
yeah.
And like just an instant like clarity.
Mm.
And it's like I couldn't have given them that and they couldn't find it because they were in their frontal lobe in like a, pros and
Yeah.
cons list, right? We're trying to analyze a problem and stuff. So I think everybody has to try it. It's
Well, and because
completely changing.
they did it, they take more ownership of the experience, right? Versus somebody telling you how to get somewhere.
Hmm.
They get
Hmm.
to be the like, I got there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more like you because they're like, oh my God, you did. I'm like, I literally I did this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't even talk while someone's on a brain spot generally. I might talk a teeny bit, but I really don't do much. So I'm like, no, you did all of that. You did all the work. And I held a thing in the air and I helped you. I helped you focus on it, right?
I love it. I love
Um,
it. That's
so yes,
incredible. What a great
it's very
tool.
empowering. Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about your spiritual coaching a little bit about reclaiming power and sovereignty, which
Hmm.
seems to be really important for you as an anchor to that work. Like, what does that mean to you in the context of mental health and healing to
Hmm.
reclaim your power and sovereignty?
Hmm. actually just stumbled across the word sovereignty like within the last couple of years, and I was like, oh, I love that word.
Hmm.
Um, I had this realization years ago where I was like, I don't know how many decisions I've made in my life that are actually my decisions,
Mm.
right? Like depending on your parents, you learn to adapt to the childhood that you have, right? So you're not really, you can either survive and belong in your family or you can be your authentic self. And
Mm.
kids choose survival because they have to.
Wow.
And then we enter the school system, right? And they're like, we learned this and we learned this, and you're not good at this and you are good at this. And then, for people who do, they do grade school and then they go on to high school maybe, and then if they go on to college, that whole time, yeah, maybe you chose your major, but everybody's telling you how to show up.
It's like this programming nonstop.
It's this programming. Yes. And I had this like realization, I don't know, like 30s, early 30s. And I was like, how many decisions belong to me? Like, how
Mm.
many decisions have I really made from me? True me, not programmed me, not I want to be a good daughter me,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Not I need to perform for love me, but like for me. And that was kind of a grieving, but
Yeah.
also like an awakening because God, you can't have one without the other. Um, but it was like, once you identify the problem, you can find a solution. So I feel like it's so important for clients because they'll come in and they're just so confused. Why am I like this? I have a client the other day come and she feels like she changes in front of her family. She's like, I'm one person, I get with the family, and all of a sudden I'm a
Well, you
totally
kind of
different
all do that a
version.
little
And
bit, right?
yeah, yeah,
But like you're saying, like if you stop and actually recognize what you're doing, we're
yeah,
not living in authenticity.
exactly. And so it's a lot of like people coming in and having problems and them realizing that I actually don't know who I am.
Yeah.
I actually have no idea who I am, which means I don't know why I'm making choices that I'm making.
Mm.
Um, and that I feel like ties in with intuition and that kind of, that creating the space to not know and then to allow the exploration to begin to know. Um, and then whatever people find, it's like, hey, that belongs to you.
Mm.
It's like go on a scavenger hunt,
Hmm.
go find things and like,
Explore.
bring them back and like show me what you found, right? And people will be like, I hate the color blue. And it sounds simple.
Hmm.
I actually had a client, it was pink. And she was like, I hate the color pink and
Mm.
I buy it all the time.
Hmm.
And I was like, why? And she's like, because my cousin loves pink.
Yeah, we don't even know question why we
She
do some of the
doesn't know.
things we
Yeah.
do.
And
Yeah.
like, and she's not like a 6-year-old. She's like a grown woman, right? And she was like, I looked up to her
Yeah.
and I always bought, I hate pink. And I was like, well, what color do you like? And she's like, I have no clue. And I was like, great, like go try different colors on. And she came back and she's like, I love green. I was like, good for you. Right? Like
That's
you claim
amazing.
that green, right? She got a green water bottle,
Yeah,
got rid of her
yeah.
pink
Green
one. Like,
everything.
right? But it seems so simple. Like, what color do you like? And people are like, I don't know.
So when people sign up for therapy with you, like you do your consult obviously probably to figure everything out. And do you determine at
Mhm.
that point like if you're going to be bringing this sovereignty work they need it? Like most people probably need it.
I have yet to meet someone that doesn't need it, especially because I mostly work with women
Mm, yeah.
and we have a lot of unlearning to do about, how we're allowed to show up
Mm,
and what gives us positive attention versus negative attention. And we're hardwired to lose ourselves in
yeah.
relationships. We're hardwired to lose ourselves to other people. Um, so they might not come in saying, I want to learn personal power and sovereignty.
Right, right.
um, but it definitely will show itself and, depending on what we're doing that day. Um, especially with like brain spotting, people will be like, yeah, I used to be, whatever, fill in the blank. And I haven't been like that in years. I miss that. All right.
Wow.
Cool. You just found something. You found a gem.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Wow. Well, if you hear that, ladies, we all need to do Sovereignty work.
Yes. Because it makes us like, like, oh, when you stand in your power,
It's good.
it's so good. And it's like once you do, you're like, I can't not. I can't
Yeah,
not,
can't go
you
back.
know? Can't go back. Mm-mm.
Oh, I've never said so much in a podcast before. I think I've done it 100 times
So
already.
yummy.
Sorry, listeners, but it's just too juicy. It's too good over here. Okay. So how do you support someone who feels like too sensitive? Because I feel like a lot of like people who are highly aware of their intuition or their spirituality, when they're looking for a therapist too, how do you support those really highly sensitive folks?
Yeah. Well, first I attract them because that's kind of like my ideal, like, yes, you're because I think a lot of therapists don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
Um, so I have lots of, different tricks up my sleeve, but the main one that I point out is like the world wasn't designed for highly sensitive people. If you look at like the evolutionary reason why they're highly sensitive people, that's very interesting. That we're wired to have a certain population to be highly sensitive.
Mm,
It was needed for like our tribes to survive, to have someone notice small shifts in things. Um, but the vast majority of people aren't that. And
mm.
so the world is not designed for that. And so I think one of the most probably healing things for people to hear is like, yes, the world is hard on you. And it's not because of you,
Yeah.
right? It's just our world is loud and busy and things move really fast and there's stimulation everywhere. And we're constantly, required or expected to show up in a certain way. And
Yeah.
when you have this sensitive nervous system, it's like you can't, it's almost like you short circuit. So I usually start with just saying like this, it's not that anything's wrong with you, it's that the world is wrong,
Yeah.
for you.
It's
Like
the
like if we
world.
could create, right? It's the world. Like let's blame the world. And like let's go make a new little planet somewhere and we'll put all the high sensitive people there and it'll be like dim lighting,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
light sense, but like, nothing too intense
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
open
Calming.
air. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like, so the first is that, and then I try to help people say, okay, so what do you need to change in your life? What can you change in your life to
Mm.
support, the fact that you just are a highly sensitive person?
Yeah.
It's not a choice that you are. It's just how your nervous system is wired.
Yeah. How
So
can you
what
curate
changes can you
your
make?
environment?
Yes.
I had a
Yeah.
teacher
What's it?
once say, um, how'd she word it? Oh, she said if you're spiritual or you're like intuitive or whatever, that you're like that's like the round world, but then you're trying to live in a square world.
Oh,
I was like, oh, that's a good way to put
yeah.
it. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
round is like you're more in like flow
Uh-huh.
constantly, right? Like,
And square, you're like bumping up against like corners and you're like, ah, that hurt. And everyone's like, what corner? And you're like, I'm crazy.
yeah,
Because
yeah,
like nobody else notices, you
yeah.
know?
Well, if you're
So,
highly sensitive and listening, it's the world, not
mhm.
you.
Yeah. And also, if you are going to stay in this world, because we don't know how to make a really cool own separate, universe somewhere.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's like what can you change? And sometimes it's just really small stuff,
Yeah.
you know.
That's good. Well, what's one shift that you wish every person knew before they started their healing journey?
I had to think about this one. This one I kind of had to circle back on. And then I started laughing. So I was like, I know what it is. So if you think about the tarot deck, people think a spiritual awakening or a healing journey is like the sun card.
Mhm.
And it's like a happy fat baby, and there's sun everywhere, and they're just like light. And like this kid doesn't have a worry in the world, right? And I'm like, it's the tower card. Like it's the tower card. Like that you're just accept it. Like it's just gonna be, crying on the bathroom floor, saying, I can't do this anymore, or starting the healing and crying on the bathroom floor and saying this is so painful.
Mm,
Um, and so just preparing people, because I think we have this idea of like it's supposed to be like a Pinterest board worthy healing. Like just get some sage,
Yeah.
And like drink a certain kind of like water or something and stick your face in ice in the morning
You're
and,
good to go.
and you're good, right? And like you're healed, you're fine. And
Oh
it's like, no,
God.
it's the tower card. You have to burn everything down. And
Yeah.
then you get to do the fun part, which is create what you want,
Yeah.
create
That
your life,
new version.
the new. Yeah. It's like thinking of like winter and it's like, oh, winter. We barely get through in Pacific Northwest. And then you start seeing, I just saw my first cherry blossom and I was like, oh
Oh, those are my
my
favorite.
God, we did it, right? Like we did it, we got through, and now we get this like prize of like we'll see flowers soon. So
I
that's the shift that I think is helpful for people to hear so that they don't feel like they're doing it wrong.
Yeah, and like nourish yourself and be prepared to have to, stop and slow down and do those nourishing
Hmm.
things to take care of yourself. And but I think as a society, we avoid emotions, we avoid the things that we think are bad but aren't really bad. It's just part of being human.
Hmm.
And everyone gets
Hmm.
so freaked out about, like what's coming or what will happen or when the bridge falls or whatever before you get there. But it's like that literally is being a human. Like we will go up and down and all around. There's duality, there's like all these things. And so not accepting it as part of your process and being integrated with it, I think is also we really aren't doing that, a lot of us. And
Yeah.
I didn't do that. Like for the first 10 years of my spiritual awakening, I just stayed on the fun side, you know? And then
Yep.
I was like, okay. It was brought to my attention
Shadow
multiple
work.
times. Yeah, I'm like, damn it. And I'm still
And
doing that. I think it's a lifelong
yeah,
process, right?
it
Like,
is. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah,
mean, because we have more stuff that we haven't gotten to, or we
yeah,
have new stuff that pops up, or,
yeah,
so it's definitely, I remember doing like starting to do the really hard stuff, and I was sleeping 10 hours a night,
yeah,
and like eh, looking at that, what's wrong with me? Oh my God. And my spiritual, advisor, counselor, therapist, whatever, she's like, yeah, you're supposed to be really tired. I was like,
yeah.
oh,
It's normal.
thank you. Thank you for giving me the permission. And also, like, I had to nap today too. And she's like, that's great, right? Like, sleep 12 hours.
Yeah, yeah. Just
So,
being okay with letting yourself integrate and rest and be in that
mhm.
energy and emotions, all the emotions are not bad.
Yes, we don't really know how to do them, especially women in anger is a big one.
Yeah,
That's like a like for a lot
yeah,
of women because that's definitely we are trained to not be angry.
yeah. I remember taking a
So,
class for like a whole year and we worked on anger a lot and I hadn't really touched base on that emotion much. And I remember my husband like, well, you seem more angry now. And I was like, that's the point.
right.
I had to learn not to
Yeah.
project my anger, right?
Yes. Yeah.
But I was like, well, that was kind of the point of this whole situation.
Yep. And he's like, I liked it better. And you're like, I bet you did.
Yeah, that was back when we lived in fake land, honey.
Yeah. I had a muzzle.
Yeah, and I'm like, now let's teach you, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not easy, but also I read a book once. I can't remember the name of it right now, but oh, never mind. It was David Rico. It was a book one of my teachers recommended. I think it was, what is the name of it? I can't remember the name, but it's by David Rico.
Okay.
Anyway, in the book, he talks about anger being an unmet need a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
And if you really like follow the root of the energy, what am I not expressing and that I need, or how are my needs being met? And if I address that first, a lot of it dissipates.
Yeah.
And I found that really interesting. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't even know I had these unmet needs because I sit in masculine energy a lot, as some of
Mm-hmm.
us women
Yep.
do.
Agreed. Yep. Yep.
And I'm like, oh, wow, I have needs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And when they don't get met, and I don't even notice that they're not being met,
Yeah, yeah.
suddenly I always say, like, and then it comes out sideways. And
Rico, how to be an adult. I just remembered.
there you go. How to be an adult.
That's the name of the book, guys.
I like the one of my favorites is called The Dance of Anger.
Ooh,
That
write that down.
that my do I have the book next to me? Yes. Lerner. Harriet Lerner. She wrote it, I think, in like the 80s.
Oh,
And it's all about the relationship women have with anger and how it shows up in their relationships. And so the idea of like the dance of anger is like we're in a dance with our partners, with our family members, and it's like how does anger kind of call the steps? And then when you start to change your own steps and start to actually like express things, you end up stepping on their feet and they don't like that. And it's
Mm.
like you just have to, it's like this practice of like they need to learn how to dance differently with you because you're not going to go back to the way you were doing it because you've now realized like how to do anger, what anger means, you know. So that's something my therapist says every woman needs to read, The Dance of
Oof,
Anger.
I love that. I'm gonna read that
Yeah.
too. Well, that
Yes.
reminds me too of like I talk a lot with clients as well about like the you just being yourself, and if you express yourself fully and somebody doesn't like it or their feelings are hurt or they're upset by you or they're triggered by you, it's not your job to
Hmm.
mend that. It's their job to learn how to deal with their own feelings. So a lot of times people don't do
Hmm.
boundary work or they don't express their anger, or they don't live authentically because they don't want to hurt other people and they don't want to
Yeah.
trigger people. But it's like that's not your job to fix, that's their job. It's
Yep.
your job to just like live authentically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love
I,
that.
I had a client teach me once, if you're going to say something that might sting, check three boxes. Is it honest? Is it kind? And is it timely?
Mm,
And it's like if you can check those three boxes, you can walk away knowing you did everything you could to convey that message well. And if they are upset, that is absolutely not your responsibility.
right.
And I've carried that through where it's like you can totally express anger and be kind.
Yeah,
You know, we don't have to go into like full rage mode. We go
right.
into full rage mode and we don't know how to do it yet.
Well, and also if people decide they don't like you because you're being authentic, well then good riddance.
Exactly. Yeah. Show
You know?
people like your like authentic anger self or whatever, and
Yeah,
like
if
they'll
you
drop
can't
like
hold space
flies.
for me, then what are we
Yeah.
doing? I don't
Yeah.
want
What are we
it's
doing?
there's no reciprocity, like, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah. Oh, this is so good.
Mm.
So good. Thank you for being here.
Hmm.
Okay, well, let's talk about this a little bit. So for listeners
Okay.
who aren't in therapy right now, what are just some small daily practices you recommend for emotional regulation and nervous system health?
Mm. I love that question. I'm gonna have to like time myself because I could just go on and on.
You could go forever. Well, give us
I
like
could
your
just
your
go
top
forever.
three.
Okay.
How do we regulate ourselves? Because I feel like right now in the current climate of the world and the globe and politics and everything, like people are
Hmm.
fired up and we can use that
Hmm.
anger in a positive way, and I don't see that happening very much. So tell us how to regulate ourselves.
Yeah. Because somebody has to. Um, I think, I mean, the step number one is acknowledging when, like, learning when you are and when you aren't regulated. And so you might be surprised, you might not be surprised that most people don't even know
Mm,
that they're super dysregulated because that's their normal state.
wow.
So I feel like the first step is always like trying to work on your awareness of like what, what, how do I show up when I'm regulated? And I generally call that like my best self,
Okay.
or you know, like the the version of me where all parts of my brain are online and they're working together. When I'm dysregulated, I go into like adaptive child mode, and it's reactive, and body's not, you know, like you have your heart beating really fast or your thoughts are swirling, or so. I think it first starts with trying to figure out like what's what,
Right.
because the
Where's your
quicker you
baseline?
what's your base? Yeah, and it's like how far away from regulated are you? You know, which tells you how much work you really, you know, could benefit from by, you know, being more regulated. Um, and then, you know, I one of the things I teach clients is actually I wasn't even going to talk about this, but here I go. Um, is we talk so much about reactive coping mechanisms, right? Like, oh, you had a hard week, go get your nails done. Oh, da 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 da, go do this, which is like total capitalism. Just go buy something. Like just treat yourself, right? We have this like, oh, things are hard, go spend money
Right.
to make yourself, or it is something that's free, like a breathing exercise. Great. Love a good breathing exercise. But so many therapists focus on what to do once you've been triggered, once
Mm,
you are dysregulated.
right.
And I'm like, why aren't we being proactive?
Yeah.
Right? Because if we do
Hmm.
more proactive things, we don't need as many reactive things.
Right.
So
Reduces
figure,
your
yeah, exactly.
financial,
So it's like when you
grows your
need to, it's like,
finances.
yeah. And your finances are like, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need a massage every week. Or also like, it's just so working on the proactive ones tends to be the small stuff. So one of my favorite ones actually heard it, and I'm not going to be able to give the woman credit because I don't remember what her name was on a podcast, but she was doing her rotations in med school, which is like you're seeing a patient every, I think she said like 6 minutes, and totally dysregulated. And by the end of the shift, she's exhausted. She can't see straight. And so she came up with the strategy of stop, breathe, be.
Mm,
And she's like, it takes 2 seconds. So before she opened the door to every single patient room, she would stop. She would just take a breath and she would be. And that might be noticing her feet on the ground, giving her heart a little love, being like, I love you. Thank you. Whatever that be would be for her. And then she would
mm,
open the door.
mm.
And she's like, if you're seeing 100 patients in a day and you do that 100 times, you're going to feel very different at the end of your shift.
Yeah, it's like a
So
reset, a
it's a little reset.
recalibration. Yeah.
Yeah, because we just like we're just like running from door to door to door to door to door, and it's like we don't really stop to breathe or to be, and so we get this like backlog where we're like, I need to completely shut down and doom scroll. It's like,
Yeah.
I think we could have prevented that,
Yeah.
like total need to shut down. So I love stop, breathe, be.
Okay.
Um, and one of mine that works better for people with anxiety, which is what I see more of. And people always laugh at this, but I'm like, notice how fast you're walking. Like,
Rushing through the day.
like, are you walking away from a fire?
Trying to get my
Are,
steps in. No,
are
I'm just
you
kidding.
walking towards $1 million? Like, why are you walking so
I feel like you're
fast?
calling me out right now.
Well, I learned it because I'm a fast walker and I'm
Yeah.
a fast talker. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I do those things like way worse on
Mm,
days where I'm dysregulated because I'm like,
yeah.
I'm behind, I'm behind, I'm behind, I'm behind.
Yeah.
And my body is like, telling me in all the ways to catch up.
Yeah, just because you walk faster doesn't mean you're going to accomplish anything quicker.
No, you're
Yeah.
just going to show up sweaty,
And your
right?
nervous
So,
system's all dysregulated.
yeah, yeah. And then you're like, but I got here 1 minute earlier. And it's like, was it worth it? Like, so I even have clients who walk fast. I say, okay, when you leave my office, I want you to walk slow. I want you to get slowly to the waiting room. And then
Mm.
I want to see you slowly walk to your car. I don't want you getting on your phone yet. Like, I just want you to walk slowly for like 100 steps and just see
Good.
how you feel. So that's
Yeah.
that's a fun one of
Just like
especially if you
teaching your
notice you're
body
stressed.
to regulate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which means like you gotta figure out what's going on and just we're just moving so fast. So
Yeah.
that's a really quick like override because if your body's moving fast, your brain's like, "Oh my God, what's wrong? Oh my
Hmm.
God, so many things must be wrong. Oh, there's fires everywhere." And it's like there aren't though.
Right.
Or there are, but like showing up like that's not like you were saying with anger right now. It's like my best self is not going to handle my anger if I'm in that kind of like really fast mode and I'm in
Right.
chaotic mode. I need to like center myself and calm down and figure out the best use of my anger.
Yeah.
So that's a really fun one to just try.
Well, and I
So,
feel like this like opens up the door, this sort of regulating opens up the door. Like, I don't know how to word this question the way that I'm thinking of it in my head, but like, what's the difference, sort of, or how do you explain sort of reactive versus responsive, but not
mhm,
bypassing feelings? Because sometimes rage can be revolution, things like that. But like,
mhm.
how do you explain to people the difference between the reaction and responsiveness without bypassing?
Oof.
So hard, right?
Okay. You could have given me a heads up
I know, I'm
on
sorry. It
that
just it just popped in. I'm
on
like,
that
we
question.
we got to go over it.
I mean, we live in reactivity. So if I'm going to bring up my little hand model again, right? So
Yeah.
like our little thumb, the amygdala and the limbic center,
Okay.
um, responds in 1/8 of a second. So that's a reaction. Ooh, I
Okay.
didn't like that. Ooh, I'm triggered. Ah, right? It's like
And that's going to
there's no
happen no matter what we do, right?
no, no,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not
Okay.
necessarily.
Okay.
It's the first one,
Okay.
right? It's the adaptive child of like, I like this. And then we like have this, I'm triggered, and we don't pause to be like, I'm curious about that trigger. What does that trigger mean? Right? There's no pause. The prefrontal cortex takes about 2 to 3 seconds to have a response. So we have to wait,
Oh.
which can feel like an eternity,
Mm-hmm.
1/8 of a second to 3 seconds,
Especially when you're triggered.
especially when you're triggered, right? So the idea is a response is it's not just like frontal lobe, let me be a computer and spit out some calculation. It's let me take into account everything that's going on and then choose the best move going forward. So there's this very famous saying in mindfulness. I think it's John Kabat-Zinn, but I could be wrong. Um, where he says, between every stimulus and response, there is space, and within that space lies change.
Ooh.
You have to find the space though.
Whoa. I just got
So
goosebumps.
I love good goosebumps. So, and people are like, I don't have space. And I'm like, no, you do. You just haven't found it yet, right? Because you're in the 1/8 of a reaction time. And there is no space in 1/8, but there is space in 2 to 3 seconds.
Right.
So I think of it as like it's a muscle. And I think, rage can absolutely come from 2 to 3 seconds when your whole brain has kind of been like, all right, I hear you, I see you, we're all on the same team. What's our goal here? What's the motivator? What are some potential consequences? Okay, great, let's go.
Mm.
Because then it's like a controlled fire.
Right. So we need to pause. What I'm hearing you say in almost every recommendation is pausing. We need to
I
pause
mean, yeah,
more.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because we don't.
Yeah.
And even when we're paused, we're not intentional. We're
Right.
scrolling.
Intentional pausing
An
is what we
intentional
need.
pause, not a spacing out, not a
Right.
disassociation, not a
Right.
collapse.
Right.
And, in order to be able to find that pause, I'm going to circle back to we need to be proactively taking care of ourselves. I can't find a pause very well if I'm not sleeping very well.
Right.
Right. So, like, it's figuring out, I kind of tell people, like, if you're going to build like a Lego pyramid, what are your bottom Legos? So
Foundation.
like yeah, what's the foundation? Where like if you're not meeting at least most of those, good luck.
Right.
Good luck getting to the next one. So
Right.
yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And that's hard to do sometimes, like if you're a single parent or, so you
Mhm.
have to really be very conscientious with whatever space you do have time to be able to build that, right?
Hmm.
But it
Hmm.
can be done.
It can be
And you
done.
don't have to spend a lot of money doing it.
No, you can totally do it for free. You could buy a nice little beeswax candle and call it good. Like, I mean, it is free. Pausing is totally free. And that's why I really love the stop, breathe, be, because so many people are like, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. And like everybody says, I don't have time.
Right.
And for
So,
some people, that really is more valid, where like they're working 3 jobs, they're a single parent. But I hear it more often from people where I'm like, pull up your phone and tell me how much time you spent on TikTok today.
right.
And they'll be like 3 hours and 41 minutes. And
Oh,
I'm like,
geez.
isn't that weird that I just found you 3 hours and 41 minutes of time? Isn't
You
that
have time.
crazy?
You have so much time. Yeah.
You're just not using it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, so I don't know how to use an example of this to like make it really clear, but like let's say you're triggered by something you
Mhm.
saw on a post, okay? Um,
Okay.
and you want and it's bringing up feelings in you and you immediately want to respond from that anger point, okay?
Yep.
Like
Hmm.
what so we would pause, we would breathe with intention, we would notice where try to follow like where the trigger is rooted
Hmm.
essentially. And
Hmm.
then how do we then respond with the energy of the anger that might be needed but without reactivity?
Is your post going to be effective?
Right. Like, is it going to
right?
be
Like, no,
received?
no, it's
Right.
not, right? And I came to this realization of like someone in, I'm just gonna call out mega, okay? Someone in the mega world, because it's
Here
just
we go.
easier to simplify,
Right,
okay?
right, right, right,
You can't be a therapist and not have a social justice perspective.
right.
Um, they are as likely to convince me to believe their beliefs as I am to convince them.
Okay.
There is no way in any universe over my dead body I will share a belief of a megapert. I won't. I won't. There's no way I'm going to put on that red hat.
Right,
Why do I think I could change your mind?
right,
Why do I think I'm better than you?
right. Like, what's
Right?
the point?
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You could come at me with all these facts and I'm going to be like, idiot. Like, it just, it's so
And I,
so the, when I think of like I see these posts and I'm like, oh, I try to think, one, um, is this going to be helpful? Two, even just saying this, I felt my cortisol go up.
me too. I was like,
Like my I'm
this
like,
is
"Ugh."
why we need to tell people this because this is happening every day
Yes.
and they need
Yeah.
therapy for it.
Yeah. Because like because it's so extreme,
Right.
right? Like it's so extreme, it's so loud, it's so bad, it's so painful. It's, the amount of times I've just like bawled my eyes out over like the state of the world. Like I'm angry, but I'm freaking sad,
Yeah. Yeah. Both.
right? Like
Yeah.
I'm heartbroken that this is where we're at.
Right.
Um, and so
So is it helpful? Is it, what were the things again? If you're going to engage
if
online, guys, here's what
if
you
you're
do.
gonna engage, like, is it gonna make any difference? Is it going to, like I just experienced, is it gonna dysregulate you for the rest of the morning?
Right. Well, also,
Right?
I feel like nobody's really listening to each other there with
No,
such a divide. What are we even saying? Why?
exactly.
No one's
So take
receiving
that
it.
anger and be like, what am I gonna do with it? And this is when I remember working, oh my gosh, I remember working Black Lives Matter 2020 during COVID. I've never been busier in my entire life. And because so many clients were out of work, a lot of my clients were at the protests like daily.
Yeah.
And so I got to hear everybody's different participation, kind of like how they did it. Some gave speeches, some handed out water, some just met friends, and and there were some people who were like, I just feel so guilty because I'm not the person to protest. Like
Mm.
that's just not who I am, and I feel like I'm bad.
Hmm.
I'm a coward. I'm like people just had a lot of like shaming beliefs because they didn't feel like they were the protest people.
Yeah.
And I was like, then don't be. Do something else.
Yeah.
Find a cause, donate money.
Do what works for you.
Do what works for you, right? If I have a
Yeah.
client who loves writing letters, she has written a letter to, I swear to God, half the US government at this point because she's like, that's her thing. And I'm like, great, do it, right?
Yeah.
So it's, and if, some people, it's like their job is to like help replenish and refuel the people who are going back out there.
Yeah.
So we all can play a role and it doesn't have to look.
Like responding to an angry post.
Yes. And
I
I
don't.
actually, it's funny that you asked that question because this morning there was a video and this guy had like a blowhorn and he was like, yelling at ICE of like, what are you guys doing? Like, we're just trying to get our kids to school. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it wasn't over the top. It wasn't overly aggressive. It was just like no one wants you here. And I just made a very simple comment of like, oh, I need to get a megaphone. Like, and I was like, that looks fun. Like
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
I've never talked into a megaphone.
Yeah.
I got called the see you next Tuesday by someone.
Oh,
And like
jeez.
over 10 people liked it. And I was like, okay. And like
It's a
the amount of
warfare. It's warfare out there.
the amount of hate that I got, and I was like, I need to turn off notifications from this post because but part of me wanted to completely tear into them.
Sure, the angry part, right?
Right? The
Yeah.
angry, like this is not just, this is not fair. Like you can't just go around calling people names
Yeah.
because they say they want a blowhorn. Like, can we learn to have better discord?
Yeah.
But then I was like, that's not my higher self.
Yeah, that's your like ego and intellect, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah,
me thinking
see?
I could change them, right? No, I can't.
Right. And
And if
I
I energy is precious, I'm not going to give it to you.
Right, it's boundary work. And but so
Yes.
here's the fine line of bypassing or ignoring, but being responsive rather than reactive. I feel like the best thing we can do is live authentically in alignment with our highest truth and self and role
Hmm.
model by the
Hmm.
way that we live rather than try to preach or teach or coach,
Yes.
in those ways. And that I think inspires and sort of ignites and turns things on in people. Like even just our conversation today can be an activator for someone to turn on these
Hmm.
parts of themselves that they need or whatever. And I feel like that's even so much even really powerful in itself, just doing that.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah,
living
it's
living that
contagious.
truth. Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, both are contagious. So like pick a lane,
Right.
and which one's going to benefit your overall health
Yeah.
and which one is going to leave you living in adrenaline. And
Right.
then, oh, look, now who has road rage trying to get to work,
Right.
right?
But
Like,
it's
and then,
okay to take that anger and use it, but we
yes,
have to
use
know how
it.
we have to know how to use it
Yes.
properly, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
By
Mar
action.
I love some good Mars energy. I have my Aries, Mars, like that's me.
Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go, right? But it's like, okay, but like how?
Yeah.
But like
How? That's the
how?
key. You
How?
really have to
Yes.
sit and think about what is going to create the most impact in the world and in
Hmm.
yourself. Protect your energy and
Yes.
also help and support humanity, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's
It's
the goal, right? Because the anger comes from this is wrong.
right.
Okay. So what can you do while,
Yeah.
like you're saying, being in alignment with your highest, truest self?
Yeah.
That is going to support bringing more light. And I have a spiritual like mentor, and she was saying, these are like very dark times. Um, her spiritual person, like it was, this whole, we got the wisdom that she was getting, and it's just very rich and
Hmm.
potent, knowledge. And she said that for people who have these like spiritual practices, like we are energetically going to have to hold down the fort.
Right.
And like we're going to have to rise to the occasion
Hmm.
to stay within our own practices.
Yeah, like leadership.
Um, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
oh God, like, okay, no pressure.
Yeah.
But it was
Time to
also
rise.
like, okay, like I have power, right? Like I can do that. I can do meditation and like try to send positive energy and healing to people, and I can ground myself, and I can love the people really close to me, and like it's fine. It's the the COVID time of learned helplessness.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, we don't want to do that, but we also don't want to just be reactive rage heads.
Right.
So
Yeah.
find your spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Because it is.
Rich
It's a
in the
it's a
depth
it's a
in the
crazy
depth of
time.
it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you stop, I've noticed like with myself, if I stop and I take away that 1 second reaction that you were talking
Hmm.
about, I can't remember the technical term you used. But if I stop and I remove that, it's like a veil, then I'm able to see what really needs to be done or how I need to move through the energy instead of
Hmm.
reacting.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like a deeper, depthier response rather than a
Yeah.
superficial angry response.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, like an ego response,
Yeah.
right? Versus like, more of an embodied, connected, intentional response. They call it, like, I'm going to put my little hand up again. So my hand is up. Okay. My thumb is tucked in.
Yep.
Okay. So this
Yep.
is like it's like an exposed nerve, right?
Right.
This is what's
Right.
triggered, right? And you're
Yes.
like,
Yes. Yeah.
but then we have this beautiful like layer on top that protects it.
Yeah.
And a term that
Boundaries.
I love more than anything is flipping your lid.
Boy, we've all
So
been doing a
like,
lot of that lately.
yeah, right. So like 1/8 of a second, I flip my lid. And then it's like, and then just being like, oh, I flipped my lid. And
Yeah.
then, okay, just give it 2 seconds. Just give it 2 seconds. It's gonna come back down. I
Yeah.
promise you it'll come back down.
Because then
And
you're
then you can
integrated.
respond. And
Yeah.
that, because that's the goal. Exactly. It's not totally emotion based and it's not totally logic based.
Right. And you're not
It's
bypassing it.
no,
You're centering it.
yeah. It's like you're
Yeah.
using all the tools in the toolbox the way that they're meant to work together, right? Rather than just like hitting everything with a hammer,
I love that.
or like everything gets a ruler. It's like, well, both are helpful.
I love that so much. Okay, well, Whew, we went off on a little tangent over there. So
Well, I think it was needed. I think it was needed. It's
well,
2026.
yeah, I mean, we had to tap on something of importance in that way, right?
Yeah.
It just came out, guys. So here we go. I did want to talk just really a little bit before we end here
Yeah.
with the fact that you also work with relationship and couples
Yes.
therapy.
Yes.
Can
I
you
do.
tell us how that shows up and what part of that spiritual stuff do you bring into that and sort of what does that look like in your practice?
Yeah, that's kind of like its own little, I don't want to call it an island.
Like a
It's very
container.
different. It's like, yeah, it's a very different container. It's if couples want to bring in spirituality,
Hmm.
totally.
Okay.
But the theory that I use is called relationship theory model, and it's very structured. And so you come in every day and you know exactly what to expect, and we go through bam, 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 bam. We end the exact same way every time. So it's very much about neuroplasticity and like creating secure attachment with your loved one. So it's not like we're gonna get all like, tell me about this and we're gonna explore this. It's much more like we're trying to stabilize.
Mm,
Those are the first 6 sessions are like gathering data and stabilizing and like creating change quickly. And then the next set of sessions, 7 to 12, is like, let's go even deeper. And then after that is like, let's play,
okay.
right? Like if you want to keep growing together, if you want to do more of this together, if you want to do, brain spotting, and it's really powerful when a partner watches their partner
Mm,
do brain spotting, as long as they can be supportive, which after session 12 they are.
yeah.
But by like
They
session
better
4
be.
they are. Yeah, right. They better be. Like
Yeah,
we're not
yeah.
doing like if you're not a safe person, get out. But it's really powerful for a partner to because it's like you can't explain it. Even like you'll come out of it and you'll be like, I'm never gonna forget that. And then you do. It's
Yeah.
like a dream, and like immediately you forget it. So
So you
the
have a really
spiritual
set like
stuff can come
structure
in later.
for couples
Very,
therapy.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Okay.
this is session one, this is two, this is three, this is four, this is five, six, based on what you came in with, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yeah.
If there's infidelity, there's more focus on that. It just kind of depends on like what the presenting problem was.
So when you
Yeah.
think about couples therapy, I think a lot of people think about it like, oh, we're contemplating separating, so let's go get therapy. But you could be thinking about couples therapy as also, like you were saying, sort of preventatively in the sense of
Mhm.
just like having a container to go in and build a really good foundation if you don't feel like that's
Yep.
strong or, things like that. You don't have to have like a major issue, right?
Mm-mm. No, no. I mean, and 80% of couples are insecurely attached. And
Mm,
in that 80%, you have people who are clearly unhappy. You have people who are keeping secrets like affairs. And then you have people that look good. They do life well. They co-parent well. They're kind to each other. They might go to parties and people think they're like this amazing couple who's like super deeply connected and in love, but then they get home and they get on their phones.
mm,
Right? And they're not really sharing vulnerabilities with each other. And they're not really securely attached. It just, they look nice.
right.
So
They're
that's
they're
even an
following the
80%.
the protocol, but not
Yeah.
really doing it.
Yeah. So people would be like, they're an amazing couple, right? And like from my lens, I'd be like,
So,
like
so you could go just
yeah.
for for closer intimacy or for more
Yeah.
connection, or it doesn't
I
have
mean,
to be a major problem.
yeah, no, I would say my husband and I have a phenomenal relationship, and we've even gotten better.
Yeah, from
We've
going.
from using some of these tools. There's scripts where it's like we have this little rupture and it's like, read the script.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, I don't want to, like you begrudgingly get it out and then you read it and you're like, that was so connecting. It's like it works every time.
Well, I feel like
Um,
too in
so
long-term relationships, like there's so much evolution that happens for each person individually,
yes.
and then also as the unit. Like I feel like it's just like a vitamin that you should take.
Oh my God. What a great way. Yeah, exactly. If you're in a relationship, take your vitamin D, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and the idea of a secure attachment is like the more securely we are attached, the more likely we are to take risks
right,
and to like grow our careers or like set these travel goals or because we know that we're going to come home to a secure base.
right. An
So secure
unconditional
attachments
container.
actually, yeah. So like they actually end up showing benefits in every area of your life. So I've known people who have done this program and they're single. I
Yeah.
actually have a client right now who's gonna start going through it with me. And she's like, just very newly dating someone. And she's like, I don't want to do what I've been doing.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Help
like
me
I don't,
do it differently.
yeah, help me do it differently so that
Yeah.
I can do it intentionally and I can be the person that in my relationship I am securely attached. I don't have to have something go wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It's this idea of like, and a lot of people with therapy too, it's like something has to be wrong.
Yeah. Which is
And a
not
lot of
true.
people, it's not true. Like we could
Yeah.
just be better, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
people tend to call when they're in a crisis.
Why not
And
just
then when the
grow and
crisis
evolve?
goes away, they're like, all right, I'm good. And I'm like, oh, no, 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 no. Because that crisis is going to show itself again,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It was a symptom. It was a symptom of something.
Or
So,
just go to therapy to grow and evolve, not just because
yeah.
there's a problem.
And I'm gonna like do my two little horn on brain spotting again. We're like, it doesn't have to be it doesn't, people like, I don't have trauma. And I'm like, okay, well, first of all, everybody does. It might not be big T trauma, but another way of looking at trauma is the good things that should have happened that didn't,
Mm,
you
yeah.
know, and that shapes who we are. It's not just the bad stuff, it's the good stuff that we didn't get.
Yeah.
And so you can go in and be like, I don't have these big things, but my God, I have imposter syndrome.
Mm,
Great. Let's start there.
yeah.
Because wouldn't it be nice to not have that in your job? You
I
know,
feel
so
like
it
it's
doesn't
just
have to be big
good,
stuff.
just good. We
Yeah.
should just do it if we have the ability to do so. I remember, I'll never forget this, but gosh, it's been 20 years now. But when we got married, the person that married us required like 6 pre-counseling sessions or
Hmm.
whatever. And I had never had counseling or anything, and we had never had an argument. And I think we were 2 years in. And so
Oh,
the last session was, he said, well, we need to do some conflict management or give you some tools for conflict management. And I'm like, well, we don't have any conflicts. He's like, yeah, okay. And I remember we were like at an Applebee's and he's like, well, we're going to sit here until each of you can write something down on paper that you want the other one to improve on. And I remember being like, well, I wouldn't be marrying this
oh,
guy if I had any of those things. And so we sat there for a while. We didn't write anything, and we're just like, but then my husband started writing, and I'm like, well, what's he writing? And so then I'm like, well, I got to come up with something. And at the time, I think I wrote down something like, I wish you would help me make dinner more, so that I don't have to like think of everything. And then the counselor goes, what did you hear her say when he had told me to tell him? And he goes, well, I heard she just, maybe wants me to like assist sometimes or something. And I'm like, that's not what I said. I want you to like think of the
oh,
but it started the whole process. And I was like, what?
uh-huh.
And it was like so simple,
Oh,
right? Not a big deal. But in that moment, I was like, oh, I finally like understood like what we say is not sometimes what people hear. And we're
mm-mm.
not really communicating. Our communication isn't always what we think it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
And also there's like I'm fine,
yeah, yeah.
right? And like that's part of this theory is like you can be stable.
Right.
You're not secure.
Right. And
You can be
also,
stable though.
like, just go for help with communication. Like,
Yep.
we could all be better communicators.
I mean, one of the biggest things I think everybody struggles with to some degree is my emotions are a burden,
Right.
right?
In
My needs are a
relationships.
burden.
Yeah.
And so I'll just do all the dinners
Right.
because if I ask for help, I'm risking a fight. I'm risking him saying no. I'm risking me being hurt and disappointed.
Right.
You know, he might think that's stupid or
Right.
something that I need help with something so simple when I can't. Oh my God, every week you
Yeah.
have to come up with more
It's
dinners.
just like the mental load, right? I
It's
think
the
as
mental load, right?
as
They find
women, we
me,
have so much mental
yeah.
load.
Yep. And then we don't want to like complain about it, right? And so we're fine.
Yeah.
And then we're stable, right? Because we're not actually saying anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, we can be very, very stable because we're just in our
Yeah.
own lanes.
Well, so if anybody has this come up in your relationship, that means that you have to come up with the idea, shop for the ingredients, and cook it.
And you have to clean out the fridge.
And you have to clean up.
Clean out the fridge. I help when I help people with like groceries when I was like doing mostly nutrition, it was like, do you know how many things go into it? Like we actually broke down every single step and they were like, "Oh my God, no wonder I'm tired."
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Yeah. I mean, it seems like simple
God,
stuff, but it's really adds up when
God.
you think about it.
And then because then you're like, "Oh my God, I'm doing this again."
Yeah.
Right? Like didn't I
Over and
just
over.
do this? Didn't I? And then you look in the fridge and you're like, and I have to throw this stuff away. And I have to buy stuff that we need to just like feed ourselves with like without recipes.
Right.
And I need to remember to like get the thing for like my son's basketball game because they need party favors every time they play a game. Like,
Right. Yeah.
don't get
It just
off.
it
I will
just
get off my soapbox.
goes and goes and goes. Anyway, go to couples
Anyway,
therapy. Go to
things
individual
don't need
therapy
to be wrong.
to go to therapy.
Yeah. My
Yeah.
husband was like, "What do you mean? We don't need a script. We're great." And I'm like, not in this moment. We're not."
It's
Right?
helpful to have those structures to
It
turn
was very
to.
helpful.
We still
Yeah.
return to that, to what they taught us 20 years ago sometimes. It works really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, well, so where can listeners learn more about your work and your offerings? And also,
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about that link where the Intuitive Clinicians Council, if people want
Hmm.
to find a therapist that's more spiritually based. So tell
Hmm.
us all of that stuff.
Yeah. So, you can find me. I have a Psychology Today profile. Um, and then ebbandflowseattle.com is my main website. And then Ebb and Flow Elements is my other website, for the more spiritual coaching. And I'm on Facebook and Instagram. And then that kept, what is, I can't even remember the name of it. Can you say it again?
The
Intuitive Clinicians
Intuitive
Council.
Clinicians Council. Yeah.
I don't have it memorized because they just started it this year.
Okay.
And I just checked it yesterday and there are 82 members. So,
Oh,
um,
it's just getting
so
going.
they're it's just getting going. Yeah. So I was when I was answering these questions, I was like, oh, I need to promote it again on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Because my goal, and I don't even like run it, but um I want it to be like the Psychology Today, which is like the Google for therapists. I want it to be that, but for different types of spiritual modalities. So if you just go to that website, everybody there is considered, a spiritually practiced, kind of clinician, or you get the little logo, you can say like, I'm a witch therapist, or like, you can
Yeah.
put on your
Yeah.
website.
So if you go
Um,
in and you say, I see dead people, they won't recommend you to the psych ward.
no, exactly, right? They'll be like, how long has that been going on for? And who's the first person you saw? And how do you feel when that happens? And
Oh.
did your parents encourage it or discourage it? And would you ever call a devil? And like, you know, um, like they'll
Oh
ask
my
like the good questions, right?
God, that is like how you see it playing out. You're like,
Oh
oh,
my God,
if I say this, what's gonna happen?
right?
You
My
know?
daughter was like looking up and she's like, there's so and so. And I was like, oh, cool, cool, right? Cool.
Yeah, is it nourished?
Nice.
Like, yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
how are they? Oh, they're happy. Cool, cool. We'll tell
yeah,
them welcome, right? Like,
yeah,
versus, traditional, oh my God, they're schizophrenic.
yeah. Which is like, I feel
Which
like is like 1% of the time. Most, I mean, in indigenous cultures, there some of those are considered like the town healer, and
yeah.
like,
Yep. It's just what we've done to it. So I think, for people with these spiritual gifts especially,
yeah,
I understand the hesitancy to go to counseling, right? Because you're like, I can't fully say,
right,
I can't fully speak my truth. I can't really share all my experiences. I have to like I had an intake with someone recently and something like, do you hear voices or like see dead people? And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I see dead people sometimes. I was
you're
like, I
like,
can't.
and
And then he was like, he got like really concerned. And I was like, no, 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 no. It's when
not
I'm on
like
a
that.
journey with a client and their dead dad showed up and we had a
Yeah,
conversation. And he's like looking at me like I have 10 heads.
yeah,
And I'm like, I don't think this was a good match
yeah.
because
See,
you are
yeah,
clearly freaking out right now.
right.
Um, so
Well,
yeah,
also
the
if
the
nobody else has ever experienced it, they're like, what is this? I mean, I
yeah.
before I experienced it, I didn't believe it was real kind of a thing.
Hmm.
So, you just have to find the therapist to meet you where you are.
Yeah.
Which I think that this intuitive clinician council like is allowing a space for you guys to
Yeah.
all kind of huddle.
Yeah.
And we know that you do it, so that's helpful. And you are taking new clients at the moment.
I
So,
am. I
and do you
am.
do
Yes.
virtual too, or just
I
in
do.
person? Okay.
Yeah, I do both.
Great. Well,
Yes.
yay. Well, this was
So
fun.
this was fun. We talked way more way longer than we thought we were going to.
I know
It's
this might be my
always a
longest
good time.
episode. But that's okay. It's therapy, and this is why it's important.
Yeah.
So I
I
hope you
hope
guys,
everybody gets something out of it
me
and,
too.
a tool or a skill or an awareness or,
Yeah.
some
So thanks for joining
validation
us
that
for
it's
therapy
hard.
today, everyone.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you again, Brooke.
Thank you, Charlene. Yeah. All
See
right.
you later. Bye.